Chidera Okay. Welcome back. You're still on Idea Morning Digest on Idea Television, and now we're on to what's trending. And here with us in the studio, we have Chidera Okay, who's going to be taking us across our social media platforms to see what has been making waves.
Exactly.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. You're the only person who calls me Mr.
Exactly. Good morning to the lady without AK.
Really, have I really exposed that very much?
Really, yes. Exactly.
Welcome. Let's get what's trending.
All right, let's begin what's trending. The Department of State Services have arrested a suspect named Udeme Sunday Stephen, believed to be linked to the attack on the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and some chieftains of the African Democratic Congress in Benin, the Edo State capital. Last week, Obi and some party chieftains were attacked at the residence of a chieftain of the ADC, John Odiji Onyego. According to the National Coordinator of the Obedience Movement, Yunusa Tanko, the incident occurred shortly after the return from the ADC Secretariat, where they formally welcomed the 2023 Labour Party governorship candidate for Edo, Olumide Akpata, into the party. Shortly after the attack, the suspect, a 26-year-old who teaches at Jessica High School in Eliozo, Rivers State, posted on his X account at SteveTom788, claiming responsibility for the attack and threatening further attacks on Peter Obi. However, a DSS source disclosed that no sooner had Stephen issued the threat than DSS operative began a covert investigation, deploying forensic analysis to track and arrest him. Well, this is very serious. I mean, this has to do with Peter Obi, former presidential candidate, and someone has come out to, claim that he was responsible for the attack. I think this stuff trended last week. Throughout last week, yes. So he has come out to say he's responsible, and he's even threatening to do more. I don't know how people really see social media these days. You just come out to, say things without even thinking of the consequences. And then imagine using your hand to expose your own self on social media. Well, and then what stands out in this story is the fact that the DSS acted very fast, especially with the fact that they were able to use digital tools to, track this person and then get him arrested. This is a very serious issue, I must say. Mr. Wiles, what can you say about
Well, first of all, I'm happy that the man has been arrested because he's a danger to not only Peter Obi and the member of the ADC, is a danger to the peace and tranquility that we enjoy in this country. When it comes to our political system, we can talk about everything that is wrong with Nigeria, about the insecurity, about the infrastructure deficit, but we're not a country at war. And should any of our political heavyweights in Nigeria be attacked and killed, Nigeria can descend into a war that we cannot afford. So I'm happy that the DSS has swung into action swiftly and arrested the man who himself has come online to also, brazenly, the effrontery to be able to come out and say this. But this is the consequence of what he has done. And it was at this table as well that we mentioned last week that the necessary agencies and even from the federal government as well should provide more security to Peter Obi, because he's somebody from the opposition party doesn't mean that you know that he's an important individual, a figure when it comes to the last election and even the coming election. He's from the major coalition in the opposition, and he possibly could clinch the candidacy of the ADC. So when you have somebody who has that mass following in the country attacked, then you are spelling doom for the country. Exactly. So we have encouraged the federal government. We're encouraging that we've encouraged them on what they've done, but we have also encouraging them on providing adequate security for Peter Obi and other political officials that will be participating in the 2027 general elections. But lastly, before I allow Cynthia to give our own take as well, we talked about the issue of surrounding the electoral system in Nigeria and the security challenges that are there. This is one of the pre-electoral challenges that we're facing when people are being attacked. So now is the time that they need to look at all of those issues right from now down to the election and the post-election activities. How can they ensure that they protect everybody who are participating, both the electorate and also the candidates?
Very well said. I think that was seeing all this, that was the first thing that came to my mind, that first of all, I'm glad that the DSS acted promptly and, you know, because intelligence agencies are often accused of acting rather slow, or when it involves political interest. And I think that's where I stand with what Wale is saying, because in this case, they acted fast. And that sends us a message. But we still go back to what you said. That's why I said you're speaking my mind already. Are we only treating? Are we ready to start treating political violence, you know, seriously as we should? Not just when it involves serious political parties or persons, you know, you understand. Are we taking it across borders regardless of party, regardless of whoever is involved? And like you stated, Peter Obi is not a small figure. I mean, he represents a strong youth-driven movement that is shaking the political terrain, shaking the internet, shaking everywhere in Nigeria. So if something happens to him, something has happened to our political structure, whether we like it or not. But I really like that they took swift action here. And let me say something that may be from my unpopular opinion, because our political actors themselves need to lower the heat as well. We cannot keep using the language of you know, to paint opponents as enemies. You get, so we need to be careful, because I saw a video. I'm not faulting Peter Obi on anything or for anything, because I saw they should just mind their language. They should be careful with the kind of language they hit, because they might be hitting, you know, up their supporters to you know, move with violence instead. Because I saw a video of Peter Obi talking to some northern northern leaders, traditional leaders, and the statement he made, I think I wrote, but the statement he made about this, he was very open about it, that this political party did not do this, did not do well, you know, don't vote for them, you know, all of those things. But I don't think that is necessary. If you are, you know, if you set out to, you know, contest for a certain position, go with it with all sincerity, with all genuinity, and, you know, make your own mark. People like you for, you know, people vote for you for who you are and for what they want. In Nigeria, it's not for just who you are, it's what they want, what pleases them. And we know that people have been coming out to say, Peter Obi is frugal with spendings and all of those things, and these other people are the city boys and they're giving money and all of those things. But I don't think the person involved have ever come out to say, I am, you know, okay, yes, truly I am all of those things and blah, blah, blah. So political leaders to contestants and whatnot should be careful as well. They should be mindful of language, because it might stir some certain things, might trigger what it shouldn't trigger.
All right. That is well said. Let's now move to the next story. As the joint United States and Israel war against Iran continues to widen and engulf the entire Middle East, the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia has struck on Tuesday in a suspected drone attack. In a statement released by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Defense stated that the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh was subjected to 2 drones according to initial estimates, resulting in a limited fire and minor material damage to the building. The U.S. has threatened retaliation and has urged its citizens to seek shelter in the Gulf countries and to leave via commercial means due to serious safety risk. I think we should just take a look at this video a little bit. Oh, see, this issue has been going on for a while now. The issue between US and Israel against Iran, and then the fact that it's affected one of the major citizens there was killed, and then it has even come down to Nigeria now, where Muslims are protesting for the death of a very big figure in Iran there. And this issue is very serious, because it's not just going to affect the Iran's or Israel or US. It has come down to Nigeria. It's going to affect so many things: economics, oil, fuel, and the rest of them. I think this is a very issue, even though report says there was no much damage in where they recently struck with drones and all of that. But this is an embassy. It is more like a country in another country. It's an embassy, so it is a serious thing, and it has gotten to the stage where the country now that is involved, that is the US, superpowers, they are now warning their citizens to stay safe or to look for where to shield themselves and then to evacuate some places. This is a very serious issue. But then, Miss Cynthia, what is your take on this? Do you think the retaliation that Trump is saying that they will take, do you think that's the best thing to do?
You are starting a fire and you do not think of the implications before you are starting a fire. You have to, I think it's a well thought out plan. That's the first joint strike by US and Israel on Iran. So they should know the implication. They should have known, and they should know. And I think they know the implications of the fire they started before they started it. But not to stand on one side. When now we have now moved to Saudi Arabia, because this drone strike is in Saudi Arabia. I think in Riyadh. Yes, United States Embassy in Riyadh. So Saudi Arabia is one of America's closest allies. Yes, one of Nigeria's Nigeria. I'd like to talk about Nigeria. America's partners in the Middle East. So it is only key. I think it is also their key oil producer. They are a key oil producer, and I think they give the US oil or something like that. But then I'm just looking at these. US, Israel, Iran have also locked prosy tensions for years. They have also, done a lot of things. So if a bomb or if they have a strike hits hit Saudi Arabia and a U.S. embassy, the U.S. embassy in Saudi Arabia, it is not new. It is not. It's not something that is surprising. We should know where it is, coming from. They should expect it, that the risk being hit as well. But my concern here is, if American citizens are being urged to leave part of the Gulf country, that tells you that Washington sees the risks. That's why I say they understand the implication. So if they are asked to, this is not a routine language. War is already happening, whether we like it or not. I think they're making fun of it on the internet that it's World War III. But I think when we are seeing superpowers here are playing, but they are telling you, superpowers are coming out to tell you, you have to start evacuating, you have to start, moving out of these countries. They are using that word more like it's not a return, it's pay attention, more like pay attention, leave this country. So I think, I'm not sure I'm not too sure if anybody was hit there. So they should be aware of it and move, so that the fire that they started can, burn, and then they decide when they want to end it. That's if the people they have struck are willing to end it at this point in time. I don't have much to say about this.
Mr. Wow, shortly.
Well, she said shortly. We're in uncharted territory right now in the world, because what we've seen ensued in the last few days is unheard, unseen in world history, and we've seen escalation on top of escalation. So whatever escalation we're seeing right now, it can be hard to swallow. It should not be surprising.
Exactly.
The attack on a sovereign nation is not something that is sanctioned by the United Nations. We saw that happen. That's a violation of a sovereign territory. The attack on an embassy that has occurred from what Iran has done, it's also something that is not sanctioned by the United Nations, but it's also not surprising any longer. So if we see anybody killed right now, if you see any of those Gulf countries killed, or any political officials killed in the United States, any political officials killed in Israel or in Iran, it's not surprising anymore, because the escalation ladder has already been put in place, and everybody is climbing the escalation. And Iran has said, just when you said quickly, Iran has said before this happened that they were going to target all of these places. So it is not surprising for America, just like she said, and it's not surprising for people that have been following. So people that are saying that, oh, why is this happening? Why are they targeting Saudi Arabia? No, they've said that if you target us, these are the places that we will target. So the people that are supposed to be there, they should have evacuated their people. If you know that your embassy is going to be targeted, you fired a missile to their country, killed the supreme leader. However you support the country or against the country,
language.
You must retaliate. That's a responsibility of an army, of a government. In Ukraine, when Russia invaded, the soldiers did not just run away. They retaliated and continued to carry out that attacks against Russia. So Iran will continue to retaliate. However this is going to end, people need to find their way. Ordinary people like you and I, or Nigerians that are there, please find your way. And those that are saying that will continue to stay there, if you are going to stay there, find a place far away from major cities, from American bases, far away from those places.
Let's do something
far away from there,
country,
and find a place for your own safety and your family, because with the escalation ladder is just getting started. We would see more attacks.
Well, let's see how this issue let's see how it goes. As time goes on, we'll be bringing our viewers more updates on these. So let's now move to the next story. Nigeria's National Security Advisor NUHU, RIBADU, is facing widespread backlash after a 2024 video clip resurfaced on social media. In the clip, RIBADU said, "Whether we like it or not, there are terrorists in Nigeria who want peace. They are our brothers." Okay, so we must seek dialogue and understanding with them. This comes amid the country's growing security challenges such as banditry, kidnappings, and attacks by groups linked to Boko Haram continue to claim lives, abduct school children, and target soldiers. Many Nigerians, especially from northern communities hit by violence, called the remarks sympathetic to bandits and terrorists, with some demanding his resignation. RIBADU had earlier described the crisis in parts of the north as family affair. His office later clarified that dialogue is not compulsory but could be explored only with repentant groups willing to surrender. Well, let me just start with saying, if this man in question had known that what he's posted or what he said in 2024 will resurface online and then cause this criticism that he's facing right now, maybe he wouldn't have even said what he said in 2024. But now he's now facing judgment. People are judging him. People are saying this is what is going on. If he had known that insecurity issue would be one of the major topic in Nigeria as at 2025 to this 2026 to this year, just maybe he wouldn't have dropped that comment. I don't know. It's understandable for the public to be emotional because of the innocent lives that they've lost, especially those who were affected, the families that were affected. It is okay for them to come out and say, this is the statements that you made. Now this is how much insecurity we are facing in this country. This is how bad insecurity is, and then they are now saying he should be removed.